My beloved brothers and sisters, do you know what happens at the time of Fajr? Something amazing, something unseen. The angels of Allah gather and they witness your deeds. They write them down and they present them before Allah, the Most High. Imagine at the very start of your day, your actions are already being recorded and taken up to the heavens. The morning hours, especially after Fajr Salah, hold a unique place in the life of a believer. Islam teaches us that this time is not an ordinary part of the day. Rather, it is filled with barakah, blessings, tranquility, and opportunities for success in both this world and the hereafter. One of the greatest gifts Allah has given us is the early morning, and the Prophet Muhammad repeatedly emphasized the importance of utilizing these hours wisely. In an authentic narration, the Messenger of Allah made a special dua, "O Allah, bless my ummah in their early mornings." So Sunnah ibn Majah 2256, this supplication clearly shows that the Prophet linked barakah, divine blessing and prosperity with the early hours of the day. It means that if a Muslim begins his day after Fajr with remembrance of Allah, worship, Quran recitation or productive activities, his day will be filled with blessings and positive outcomes. On the other hand, wasting this time in heedlessness or sleep deprives one of this divine gift. The Prophet himself was the best example. After Fajr, he would remain seated, often engaging in dhikr, remembrance of Allah, reciting Quran or teaching his companions until the sun had risen. This was not merely a personal habit, but a Sunnah practice he left for his followers. The companions also understood the value of these hours, and many of them would dedicate this time to worship, learning, or earning halal provision. Scholars of Islam, such as Ibn al-Qayyim, Atindo Diamanaha, highlighted that the early morning is a time of strength and clarity when the heart is fresh, the mind is sharp, and laziness has not yet taken over. He explained that a believer who spends these hours in obedience will find his entire day set upon goodness. Conversely, those who waste these precious hours in sleep often find their day filled with laziness, lack of productivity, and even spiritual emptiness. Another important aspect is that the angels witness the Fajr prayer and what follows it. Allah says, indeed, the recitation of the Quran at Fajr is ever witnessed. As Surah Al-Isra 1778, this ayah tells us that angels are present and bear witness to the deeds performed during Fajr and the morning hours. So, the believer who chooses to engage in worship, reflection, or even starting his halal work after Fajr is performing actions under the witness of angels, which multiplies the value of those deeds. From a worldly perspective, waking up early after Fajr is also linked to discipline, better health, and success. Many great scholars and leaders of Islam began their day early, using this blessed time for writing, studying, and serving the Ummah. The Prophet taught us that morning is the time of Rizq, sustenance being distributed, and so one who begins his day early benefits from this divine allocation. In short, the Prophet taught us not to underestimate the power of early mornings. They are a treasure of blessings, productivity, spirituality. To follow this Sunnah means aligning your life with a rhythm of Barakah, ensuring both worldly success and closeness to Allah. One of the most beautiful gifts Allah has given to the believers is the Salah al-Ishraq, also known as the Duha prayer, which is performed shortly after sunrise. Many Muslims are unaware of its immense reward, yet the Prophet taught us that the Ishraq prayer is an opportunity to earn the reward of a complete Hajj and Umrah. Simply by dedicating a short amount of time after Fajr, the Prophet said in a hadith reported by At-Tirmidhi, whoever prays Fajr in congregation, then sits remembering Allah until the sun rises, and then prays 2 rakahs, he will have a reward like that of Hajj and Umrah. Tirmidhi, Hasan Sahih. Subhanallah, this hadith shows the immense generosity of Allah's sim. A believer who follows this Sunnah gains the reward of Hajj and Umrah even though he did not travel to Mecca. Of course, this does not replace the obligatory Hajj, but it shows us how Allah opens doors of mercy and reward for those who are consistent with acts of worship. The Ishraq prayer is performed approximately 20 minutes after sunrise. The Sunnah way is to remain seated after Fajr, engaging in dhikr, Quran recitation or reflection until the sun has fully risen above the horizon. Then 2 rakahs of Salah are prayed with sincerity and humility. This short yet powerful act carries an unimaginable reward. The scholars explain that Ishraq prayer has many benefits. Spiritual reward equivalent to Hajj and Umrah. This motivates the believer to seek Allah's pleasure with consistency. Protection throughout the day. By starting the morning with remembrance and Salah, the believer is under Allah's care. Barakah in time and rizq. Those who follow this Sunnah often find their day more productive and filled with blessings. Following the Prophet's lifestyle, the Prophet would remain in remembrance after Fajr, setting an example for his companions and the Ummah. The early morning hours are already filled with blessings, as the Prophet made do, "O Allah, bless my Ummah in their early mornings." Sunnah ibn Majah 2236, when combined with the Ishraq prayer, these blessings multiply even further. A Muslim who adopts this sunnah not only secures immense rewards in the hereafter, but also develops a habit of discipline, patience, and mindfulness in this world. In addition, Ishraq prayer is linked to gratitude. Waking up for Fajr, remaining in dhikr until sunrise, and offering 2 rakahs requires effort and consistency. This effort itself is a sign of thankfulness to Allah for life, health, and guidance. And Allah promises, if you are grateful, I will surely increase you and in favor. Surah Ibrahim 14:7, therefore, Ishraq is not just an optional prayer. It is a secret door to Allah's mercy and blessings. It is a practice that every Muslim should try to revive in their daily routine. Islam teaches us that the hours immediately after Salat al-Fajr are blessed and filled with opportunities for Barakah, divine blessings. The Prophet Muhammad made a special dua for his ummah. Oh Allah, bless my ummah in their early mornings. So Sunan Ibn Majah 22:36 Hassan, this supplication alone highlights how the morning is a time of rizq, sustenance, productivity, and divine blessing. To waste these hours by returning to sleep immediately after Fajr means missing out on an opportunity that Allah Himself has designated for success. Rizq is distributed in the early hours. Many scholars have mentioned that the early morning is the time when angels descend and sustenance is decreed. Engaging in worship, dua, or work during this period opens the doors of provision, both spiritually and materially. Sleeping right after Fajr, however, can close these doors. Ibn al-Qayyim Etio Ibiso explains in Zar al-Ma'ad that sleeping after Fajr deprives a person of many benefits. He says that it prevents the body from fully energizing, causes laziness, and makes one miss the blessings of early morning sustenance. That is why people who consistently wake up early tend to achieve more and feel more productive. Laziness and loss of focus morning is the time when the mind is at its sharpest, yet those who sleep after Fajr often wake up feeling drowsy, restless, and unmotivated. This is because the natural body clock, fitrat, is designed for activity at this time. The Prophet would engage in remembrance of Allah and remain active after Fajr until the sun rose, a practical example of how to make the most of this time. From a scientific perspective, early morning light regulates the body's circadian rhythm, improving energy, alertness, and mood. Sleeping after sunrise disrupts this rhythm, which can lead to sluggishness and a lack of motivation throughout the day. Missed opportunities of worship and reward. If one sleeps right after Fajr, he loses the chance to recite Qur'an, engage in dhikr, or pray Salat al-Ishraq, a Sunnah prayer with immense reward. As mentioned in Hadith, performing Ishraq after Fajr can bring the reward of a complete Hajj and Umrah. Tirmidhi Hassan. Missing such opportunities due to unnecessary sleep is a form of deprivation. Barakah in work and worldly affairs. The companions of the Prophet were known for starting their day early. They would engage in trade, study, or community service soon after Fajr, and as a result, Allah blessed their rizq. Today, successful individuals often testify that the early hours are the most productive and creative time of the day. Sleeping after Fajr, on the other hand, leads to wasted time, unfinished tasks, and financial or career stagnation. Sleeping after Fajr might seem harmless, but in reality, it can deprive a person of rizq, productivity, and spiritual reward. The Prophet connected blessings with the early morning, and those who act upon this sunnah find that their lives are filled with barakah, discipline, and success. Instead of sleeping, a believer should use this time for Qur'an recitation, dhikr, dua, planning the day, or even starting work, ensuring that both worldly and spiritual goals are achieved. Islam teaches us that the unseen world is filled with angels who constantly record, witness, and protect human beings. Their role is particularly emphasized during the times of prayer, and among them, the Fajr prayer holds a unique position. The Quran and Hadith make it clear that the morning hours are witnessed by angels, and this adds immense value to the deeds performed at that time. Allah says in the Quran, establish the prayer at the decline of the sun until the darkness of the night, and say also the Quran at dawn. Indeed, the recitation of dawn is ever witnessed. So Surah Al-Isra 1778, the scholars of Tafsir explain that the word witnessed in this verse refers to the fact that angels of the night and angels of the day both attend and witness the Fajr prayer. This is an extraordinary honor because no other prayer has this dual attendance. Two groups of angels exchanged duties at Fajr and asked. In a famous hadith, the Prophet said, angels take turns in guarding you, night angels and day angels, and they all assemble at the Fajr and ask prayers. Those who have stayed among you ascend, and their Lord, who knows all about them, asks, in what condition did you leave my servants? They reply, we left them while they were praying, and we came to them while they were praying. Sahih al-Bukhari. Sahih Muslim 632. This hadith shows that the angels not only record our deeds, but also present a report to Allah twice daily. Imagine the honor of being reported to Allah while in a state of prayer or remembrance at Fajr. Conversely, imagine the loss if a person is found sleeping heedlessly when the angels testify, Morning deeds carry extra weight. Since Fajr is witnessed by both sets of angels, the deeds done during this period carry immense importance. Reciting Quran, engaging in dhikr, or even starting one's day with halal work gets recorded with special emphasis. These deeds are not ordinary. They are seen by angels who testify before Allah. It is for this reason that scholars emphasized remaining awake after Fajr, engaging in ibadah, worship, and seeking barakah, rather than wasting this time in sleep. Spiritual awareness and accountability, knowing that angels are watching, should increase a believer's consciousness of Allah. The Prophet A said that even when we are alone, our deeds are being written down every moment. The awareness that both night and day angels witness us at Fajr should inspire believers to be extra mindful, to avoid laziness, and to seek forgiveness and blessings during this sacred time. A sunnah of the Prophet A, the Prophet A himself would stay engaged in the remembrance of Allah after Fajr until sunrise, and the companions followed this practice. This shows us that maximizing these early hours is part of the Sunnah lifestyle. The angels' witness adds to the importance of following this blessed routine. The hours after Fajr are not just about personal discipline and productivity. They are spiritually charged moments where angels gather, witness, and record deeds with special significance. To be found in remembrance, Quran, recitation, or prayer at this time is an honor that brings blessings in both worlds. Thus, every believer should strive to use the Fajr to sunrise period wisely, knowing that the angels are writing their story before Allah.